When it comes to a Baptiste, I seem to realize a very common issue, and that's finding a good balance between healing and damaging. And in this coaching session, I definitely explain that to the best degree. So sit back, enjoy, and I'd also appreciate to like and subscribe because, you know, I'm a pretty small content creator. But yeah, anyway though, enjoy. All right, so today we are coaching a Platinum Baptiste. Now, back in the day, I used to be an absolute freaking nature on Baptiste. I used to grind him every single day. I was GM1 with him, and I was a very, very greedy Baptiste when it came to my alts. I had countless people tell me I am one of the most greediest Baptistes they have ever played with. But, I mean, it worked because every single time I would solo ult, I would drop like 2 or 3 players in, you know, I found a very high success rate and climbed up to the highest rank in the game because of it. And that was before Champion came out. For all of you people who are new, Champion wasn't always a rank. GM1 used to be the highest rank. But yeah, so let's talk about positioning starting off. Where do you want to position? I guess right now, currently, I guess the best spot is kind of right here. So you can have a view on your team because I don't really know what your Reinhardt's trying to do. Cassie might overextend as well. So get ready with the more. You got your Ashe right here, so you're going to always, while you're positioned right here, you're going to be looking at the enemy team and everything like that, and your team right here as well. So you're going to have LOS of all of them, but you're not going to have LOS of the Ashe. So you're going to want to keep an eye on the Ashe as much as you possibly can.
Attackers incoming.
As well as starting off, be very cautious. Be very cautious of where you're going to be peeking, because you don't know if the enemy team has, for example, like a Widow or anything that might do a lot of damage to one of you guys up here that might get you killed straight off from the bat. So just be very, very careful, and just keep that in mind every time you play on Junkertown. Be careful of a Widow. But since, you know, the Ashe right here didn't get her head taken off by walking all the way across here and getting a few shots off, you know, there's probably not a Widow. And then within like a little bit longer, I think you should be able to check the scoreboard and check what enemy team you have. You see the Tracer walking up here, which, by the way, for some reason, a lot of DPS, like dive DPS, they absolutely love this high ground so they can dive all the way across. And if you can be aware of that, you can catch them off guard, and you can either suppress them and force them to back off, or you can kill them pretty quickly. So just keep that in mind. Dive DPS love to take this high ground right here. Example, Ashe right there. I prefer you to kind of maybe play back, like maybe like right here for a second, get out some damage right here. Try to rotate back over here. You're going to want to try to play this corner as much as you possibly can. As soon as your team backs up, this corner is going to be your best friend when it comes to looking for heals and looking for damage. The enemy team pushes up. You can push back right around this pillar right here, and that should be good as well. Enemy team pushes further. You might even be able to play up onto this high ground right here. But yeah. So just keep it in mind, that's kind of the pathway that I used to take. Worked out. Nice hit more. Just the dangerous thing about where you're positioned right now, though, is you're kind of out in like the wide open. And if any of the, let's say, for example, the Vendetta or the Ana see you up there, in the higher ranks, they're 100% going to start damaging you, and they're going to push you back. They're going to suppress you. And by the time they suppress you, your Ryan might be dead. So just keep that in mind. You saw the Vendetta look up here, so expect the Vendetta to dive soon. Oh, classic dive DPS move right here. Taking the high ground. I'm calling it. She's going to dive. Ready for this? Bam. There you go. Yay. Vendetta has short-term memory loss because she instantly did damage to you and then saw the Ashe and then dove the Ashe. Okay. This took you a little bit long, but you kind of for a couple seconds like stood back here, crouched, and then jumped around and jumped up. Got your Ryan killed. Now, could your Ryan have survived that if he positioned himself better? A quadrillion %. But the second you kill that Vendetta right there, instantly turn around and instantly look at your team. You should have like crazy anxiety about looking away from your teammates, because you know they're going to take damage and they can die at any moment. That's why a lot of like good supports will often keep their team, the majority of the time they'll keep their team in complete LOS. They'll know where their teammates are at all times and they'll be aware. How much you want to bet this Moira is going to be looking to dive? She's going to be looking to dive this high ground. I'm calling it. Come on, do it. Do it, Moira. I know you want to. Where is she? I called it. I knew it. Oh, here comes the Tracer. Oh, she messed up. Okay. Start off right here. Rotate yourself back here a little bit. Play right here. The only issue with kind of playing like a little bit up here is, first off, you know, if the enemy team was a little bit more smart, you're dead instantly. As well as playing up here, it doesn't give you LOS on your Ashe too, so your Ashe could die. Okay, you heard that the Tracer's in this room. Okay, Reinhardt's diving the Tracer, so I guess you don't really gotta worry about it. He's sending it. Okay. Nice kill. Also, keep paying attention to your team in here. You gotta be like constantly aware of your team. Right here, you killed the Orisa, but right over here, you weren't really paying too much attention to your team. In result, I think your Ryan's dead. Yeah, because he got ulted by the Tracer right there. Could you have saved the Ryan? It would have been a close one, but possible good chance that you could have saved him if you're a little bit more aware of your team on this side as well. Trust me, it's going to be very overwhelming in the beginning, but soon it'll become natural on like paying attention to your team. Yeah, unfortunately, I think you did have LOS on your Cassie right there, and he was critical. Just be aware of your team once again. You should join my crew. You did save the Ashe right there. So I think in that scenario, it's probably just a pick or choose. Nice kill. Thanks for the help. Since your Cassie is dead, this could actually be a good time to ult. You ult right here, you peek a little bit, you kill that Ana right there, you can probably suppress that Moira, and then Orisa probably dies on top of that. Bastion's already dead. Nice. Yeah, that'd be a good time to ult, just to reset your team. It would reset the enemy team as well, and your team would be able to push up in position where they want to position. Nice kill. Beautiful. Nice. Speed up a little bit right here. I thought you needed a head. Cascading. 60 seconds. All right. Not the greatest ult right there, as well as I think you were a little bit panicked in. It kind of messed you up a little bit. In result, your entire team died. I think you're a little bit confused on like what exactly you should have done there. But yeah, I think you're just a little bit panicked right there. Just calm down, focus on your team. Position yourself where the enemy team is not going to be able to get to you straight off the bat, so you won't die really quick. As well as you, right there, you probably should have been looking for an ult, but I understand if you're a little bit hesitant on looking for an ult there because your entire team had an ult, and typically you don't want to use all of your ults at the same time because in result, it could be very dangerous in, I mean, the next fight you're almost guaranteed to lose if every single one of the players on your team use ult. Okay.
How's it going?
The night is young.
30 seconds remaining.
A complete recall.
I mean, all you really had to do is walk that way, but that's okay though. Mistakes happen. It's okay. I want to see what Ryan's up to. Oh. The waterbender's over there too. Alright, we're gonna speed up right here.
Don't let them move the payload!
Over here. For the Crusaders! Get them middle of you.
Thank you.
Kill what's killable.
You and me, friend.
As well as walking wide right there, maybe throwing down Immor. Could have been helpful. Ooh, unfortunate. Still winnable fight. Very winnable. Oof.
In tip-top shape.
You gotta look for some damage right here, though. You're healing a little bit too much. So, the thought process that really helped me out with Baptiste was damage first and heal only when you need to heal. It's gonna feel very uncomfortable once again, but soon it'll become natural and you'll find that balance of doing a lot of damage and only healing when you need to heal.
Surf's up, everyone.
Don't let them move the payload!
Okay, Ash overextended. So you know the Ash went in there, so she's probably... Okay, maybe she's not. I thought she'd probably rotate up here, but I guess she's not going to. Nice. Nice kills. A little too hyper-focused on the damage right there. There's still players alive. Unfortunately, your Cassidy died in result.
Big performance.
Oh, that is just handing a free kill on a silver platter right there. I don't know what the Moira was even trying to do. See the Ana. Let's press that Ana. See if you can get a kill on her. Nice. Beautiful. Now up here, you do have a choice. And that choice is, do you want to use your ult early right here and see if you can win this fight and then hope your team can ult next to win when the game's about to end? Or do you want to hold on to your ult and wait for the game to end so you can try to finish them off with your ult?
60 seconds
But
remaining.
it could negatively affect you if you don't use your ult early. Because what if the enemy team uses their ult early and they win the fight because of it? It's a big decision. I think overall the correct answer is play exactly how the situation turns out. If you think things are too dangerous, use that ultimate early. But if you think things are not too dangerous, don't use it. Wait it out until last minute if they're playing a little bit distant and see if you can get picks with it. I don't think they really got anything that can fully stop your ultimate and that can stop damage besides for like the Orisa shield. But other than that, like I don't think there's anything that can really like negate it and make sure you don't get picks with it.
Like new again.
Get in there, Bob!
Okay. So right there, that should... Okay, sorry. Out of everywhere. The Bob goes in the room. So Bob was thrown early, so the enemy team's going to be positioning themselves very safely. So you probably won't have to wait until using your ult right around like the 20-second to like 15 to 10-second range. So
Step right up.
yeah, especially with the cast ult coming in, you definitely just stall on your ult a little bit. Okay. You know what? Nice work, nice work. The unfortunate part about this now, though, is going into the final fight, they will have ult. Going into the final fight, they could still win this now. If they touch.
My coals are red hot.
Okay, thankfully, I think your team is going to be able to clutch it.
Someone stop that
I believe so.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about, though. It's dangerous. It was a dangerous ult because once again, they could have almost capped that right there. It was just single-handedly up to who could get more picks. The fight was simply up to that, and unfortunately, you got pulled off the high ground and got killed by the Orisa. So this could have turned out as a cap for them, and they could have gone further. But once again, though, that was a good ult because you got picks. That was a good ult.
What is that melody? Stay alive for me.
Score 0-1. Switching sides.
All right, we're gonna speed up right here.
Ready for battle.
Okay, so overall, what's everything that you need to work on? We'll do the midway through report. Look for a lot more damage. Look for ults that are going to suppress the enemy team. You're always gonna want to ult when the enemy team can't back out and they can't get out. So that ultimate on the last fight that you had was actually really good. It was genuinely like a good ult. It's just a little bit too early. I probably would have waited like probably 5 more seconds before I would have ulted. But it messed up the enemy team and they panic ulted that. But once again, in higher ranks though, they're probably not going to panic ult that, and they might actually be able to touch and recap off from that because they're going to be more disciplined on their ults. And if this rank, they almost made a comeback on that last fight, you know, in the high ranks, they're almost definitely going to make a comeback if your team's ulting that early. So you got to be very careful and you got to be patient of that ultimate. 5 seconds, even 1 second can make an extreme difference on the outcome of a game.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers.
Going up high ground right here. A little dangerous because you don't really have a whole lot of cover. And let's say they suppress you, then you got to rotate all the way back down here. So preferably, I'd like to see you rotate like right out there instead.
Barrier initialized. The payload moves. You are completely healed.
As well as a little bit of a sneaky tip right here. You can hide yourself right on the ledge right here. And if you're playing Bastion, if you want to flank a little bit early on, I don't recommend if you're trying to you're trying to rank up, but you know, a sneaky little tip right here. You can hide right here and then you can peek them as they're coming out and you can get a few picks. Sometimes it works, especially if you're playing dive and like your team's very coordinated with it. You can peek right here. Enemy team dives, you can get an early wipe.
The barrier cannot withstand much more.
Okay, you're healing when you don't really need to heal. Look for some suppression on this high ground right here. Look to suppress them, look to do a little bit of damage. Maybe you rotate like right around here, look for a little bit of damage right here, see if you can suppress them right through there. But overall though, it's kind of tough where you're at because healing can be a little bit tough. But you can heal like right on this ledge right here without the enemy team peeking. But when you get the chance, peek, do some damage, suppress them so your enemy or so your teammates can push up. Beautiful.
Never happened.
Ooh, unfortunate. Exactly what I was talking about. A little dangerous right here because, you know, once again, they can get picks on you.
Eyes on the bad guys.
Speed up right here.
Another go, maybe. Ça, c'est prescription docteur. Stay alive
Okay.
for me.
Unfortunately, you did die right there.
Immortality field deployed.
Ooh, close one, close one.
Barrier is nearly spent. Fields all run out.
Don't push that thing.
You are completely healed. Bad guys.
Not really a whole lot to say right here. Hitting the flank, I believe. Oh no.
Get into the field. Looking good.
Ah, unfortunate. Should you have taken that flank? Probably not, but you know, might as well try. Test the limit, see if, you know,
Night is young.
it's worth it, and if it's not worth it, don't ever do it again. I can definitely tell you were doing that to learn to see if it was gonna work. But 99% of the time, it probably won't work.
Barrier appears.
Let's get him. Payload going.
Everyone feeling better? Feeling okay? Barrier is splintered. Barrier has been overwhelmed.
Dynamite out. You should join my crew.
Let's go.
Dipped up shit. Bullet.
Smoke him out there.
Very dangerous for your position though, because way out in the open.
You don't
Or not really way out in the open, but you are out in the open. It'd be dangerous.
Bob, do something.
I'm at
Okay. You're looking for a little too much damage now. Even though you want to look for damage,
rest.
you also really have to pay attention to your team as well. Because right there, you still could have won that fight if you're a little bit more paying attention to your team. You got to find that really good balance, and you got to find that position where you're going to be able to see your team and you're going to be able to see the enemy team as well when you want to see the enemy team. Not saying you have to be an LOS of the enemy team at all times, because that's just bad advice, because, I mean, you're guaranteed to die at that point. But once again, though, you want to be an LOS of your team. You want to know exactly what's going on with your team.
Got the victory fever.
That's why a lot of people struggle with support, is because they just don't pay attention to your team. They either tunnel vision on doing damage or they tunnel vision on doing healing. And if you don't find the good balance in between, you're not going to be able to rank up. And on top of that, you're going to have to look at your ultimates. You're going to have to use your abilities to get a further advantage. As well as the majority of this match right here, you've been mainly waiting for your team to make the big, like, you know, push and the big win. You got to be looking to do that yourself. You got to be looking to suppress the DPS on the high ground. You got to be looking to get those picks early on. Find somebody who's out of position. Get the kill on them. But you also got to be paying attention to your team too.
Get in there, Bob.
Speed up right here.
Reverse the tide. How about I try that again?
Pushing the payload. Mind lending a hand?
Okay, that soldier had, let's talk about that. The enemy soldier had a plentiful amount of time to, you know, avoid that Bob right there. I do not know how he died to the Bob.
Now you see me? Now you don't.
Okay.
Stay near the immortality
Okay.
field.
Now, a lot of people watching might try to argue that him staying in the back line and getting those two picks helped his team win. And yes, it did help your team win, but it's not a winning formula to consistently win. In result, the majority of the time, if you do that, you're not going to be able to win. So just keep that in mind.
Too early to kick the butt.
10 seconds.
Step right up. The barrier appears.
Payload is in my hands. Why, thank you.
Let's get you all better.
She's gonna blow.
I'm all out. Reloading. Immortality field deployed.
Very, very dangerous dive right there. Once again, though, I think you're playing. You might be like a little annoyed, or maybe you're just like playing too confident. But once again, though, you're playing very, very aggressive. In result, this aggressive playstyle could even cost you the game. But once again, though,
I think I deserve.
I think you do have a good chance on winning this. Ooh. Yeah, unfortunately, right there, you spammed your cooldowns early, couldn't save your team. As well as where you're positioned, it would have been very difficult to save your team as well. That's a crazy amount of ults. Just off those ults alone, you should be able to win this next fight. The best thing to do right here, though, is just send it at the enemy team. Just walk straight out, die. See if you can get a pick and result, but yeah, you want to die as fast as you can so you can respawn with your team.
Let's get that payload going.
Staggering even for a second, especially once you get into that high rank, it's going to negatively affect you very badly. 1 second in high rank can literally, like, it's an extreme difference. That 1 second mistake can cost you games. But in this rank, you don't really have to worry about those mistakes, and you can make like a 15-second mistake compared to that 1 second mistake. But yeah, you got to be very much aware of like those mistakes, and things that you do can lead later on in the game, can cause you the game. Now, one scenario doesn't 100% cost you the game, but once again, though, it lowers your odds of winning that game. And if you make those mistakes consistently, it's going to continuously lower your odds of winning. Nice pick.
I got you.
60 seconds remaining.
Round of healing.
Oh, free.
Someone call.
Beautiful.
The barrier appears. Reverse the time.
I honestly don't even hate this. You ult this right here. You suppress them right there. Your team takes on that Orisa right there. You're going to win. You ult right up here. You're going to win. Now, once again, though, high ranks, you're probably going to get smoked if you do this. But right now in your current position, going on an off angle like this, even like, honestly, I'd even say in Masters, if you do this, you can get crazy value and you can definitely rank up. Crazy good suppress. Now, you should have rotated out. The second you got that pick on the soldier, insta-rotate out. Because you don't want to stay up there for too long, because the longer you stay on a surprise attack area exactly like this, the more likely you're going to die, because the enemy team's going to be able to counter you, and they're going to be able to punish you for doing that. For example, right there. So you don't want to, when you take a flank like that, you don't want to take a flank for way too long. pick the... Oh, okay. I was going to say, did I just pick the best perspective right there? I definitely did not. So, once again, though, even though that flank was good and it suppressed the enemy team, you weren't really able to get those picks on it. And on top of that, you weren't paying attention to your team at all. And your team very much fumbled and died very quickly. Your waterbender guy, I low-key still don't know his name. I gave up on the names after the 5 heroes came out. Or actually, no, he's not even one of the 5 heroes that came out. I gave up on names a while ago. I call it Fire Girl, or I think I call her Anaron. I think that's what her name is. I still don't know like that one DPS's name, the newest one. I call her Saria, but I don't think that's her name. I'm very bad with the new names, and I don't have any intention of learning what they're actually called.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I don't think Waterbender guy has a crazy good amount of healing, so that was very dangerous. Once again, you're playing very, 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 oh, I see why. I don't even know why I didn't realize that. Yeah, the seconds left. Unfortunately, it cost you the game. So, what happened? What made you lose that game? What could you have done better? Well, starting off, the biggest and most crucial mistake you made was playing very aggressive towards the end. I don't know if you're like annoyed with your team, thinking that they weren't pushing up or weren't playing aggressive enough, but you were playing very aggressive. In result, it costed you a lot of fights, because that's what I mean, that's what feeding is if you're overextending and you're playing very aggressive all the time, you're not going to be paying attention to your team. And as a support, if you're not paying attention to your team, you're guaranteed to lose, because you cannot 1v5 them. Now, this ult right here, genuinely, once again, I do think that was a good ult, and I do think that was the right decision. You peek that right there, you get a pick right there, if you were able to get a pick right there, and then you just dip out. The second you get a pick, you should dip out instantly, jump over that high wall right there, or rotate back around, either or, whatever you think is best, so you can get to your team, so you can assist your team, because your team still needs help as well. But yeah, as well as, once again, let's overall talk about what more you could have done. I mean, position-wise, in the beginning, it wasn't terrible. There's a few things that you need to work on, like, you know, positioning yourself to that natural cover. A lot of the times when I coach, it's walking, like, when I'm teaching you, like, exactly where I would position, I'm always showing you position to this wall right here, and then the position to this wall right here, and then position to this wall right here. And what a lot of players do in this, or in, like, every medal rank game, is they position themselves right here, and then they position themselves right here, and then they position themselves right here. And guess what happens? You have no cover. You have nothing to walk behind. You have nothing to, like, because the difference between right here and right here is astronomical. It can change a game. And why is that? Because let's say, for example, right here, you try to play cover, you got all that time to play that cover, and then you die. Let's say you play right here. Bam. Instantly in cover, instantly able to, you know, figure out what you're going to do next and not die, because not dying makes significantly more of a difference than dying. Just try to find that balance between healing and damage. Heal only when your team needs heals, and then just when they don't need healing, look for damage. Look for picks. If you can't get picks on Baptiste, you can't win on Baptiste. It's very, very simple. Baptiste's kit is very, very damage heavy. And I mean, the reason why I had so much success on the early seasons of Overwatch 2 with Baptiste was because I was able to get picks easy. I was able to find those picks that won us the game. That's why the majority of my games, I had more damage than healing, because I was a DPS legend. I also practiced my aim like a lot. But yeah, once again though, just pay attention to those things, and I guarantee you're going to rank up. You're going to rank up. But yeah, once again though, if you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will see you later.